Hey, it's Teddy Swams, and you're listening to Radioacktiva, the rock planet.
Teddy, welcome to Radioacktiva. Man, how are you?
I'm great, buddy. How are you?
Fine. First time in your country, I guess it's fair to ask anything you're looking forward to?
We landed last night at like 10 p.m., so I woke up this morning and came straight here. So I haven't really seen too much, but I am looking forward to. What I love always about a festival is that I think you kind of get a quick scope of the whole culture, you know? You get all the people and the food all at one time at a festival, so I'm really looking forward to performing today, seeing the crowd and hopefully walking around a little bit without getting too swarmed, but I'm gonna go see Benson Boone, of course, man. I got my merch on and everything.
Oh, cool.
You know what I mean? I'm really excited to see some people and hear some acts and eat some food and do the whole thing, get the whole experience.
Walk me through something. So you're like an R&B soul kind of singer, right?
Sure.
Your birthplace has all those mixed with Al Green and all these musicians, but you're also like into rock, right?
Oh yeah, man. I started out in metal, screaming when I was younger. So I'm always gonna have my itch of rock.
So why did you decide to lean into R&B soul?
Well, I think when I was when I was like kind of creating Teddy Swams, we were just doing a bunch of covers online and on YouTube, and I was still in like a rock band called Eris and another band called Wild Heart, and we were still playing rock music, and I was still screaming in a rock band at the time. And I think I was also doing Teddy Swams, the covers and stuff, and Teddy Swams really started to work, and so we just kind of leaned into that. But I feel like I was trying to do as many different things as I could just to be heard, just to be seen.
Okay.
And so whatever one worked, that's what I was gonna go head first into. And I still plan on scratching that itch and putting out a rock record. One day I want to put out just a Teddy Swams rock record and like maybe just do a EP or something that I can still scratch that itch, and just trying to do some more features to rock. And I was just fortunate enough to I got to be a songwriter on one of the Linkin Park new album songs. I got to write Overflow with them,
From
which
Zero.
was really cool. Yeah, I got to do the song Overflow with them, and I got to do a few sessions with those guys and be a part of them kind of creating it, and it was so cool.
That was cool. That's cool. I had no idea,
Yeah.
man. That's really cool. A bit about the records. I tried everything but Therapy. I love the title because I think it has like two different meanings, right? I think it's sometimes like us journalists, we overthink stuff, but from my perspective, it's like a reflection of our times, but also a way of looking back. Sometimes,
yeah, totally.
like I like myself, I look back and I say I definitely need therapy. I don't know why I haven't tried it yet. So when I was given the record, you gotta listen to this guy, I was like, okay, what is he trying to tell us with this title? I believe these things mean something. So I wanted to ask you about that.
Well, I think I was in a really rough place at the time, and I just come out of a hard breakup, and I was really, really bad place. A really bad place emotionally and mentally, physically, spiritually, you name it. And I think I was leaning on a lot of things and numbing myself, and I think that album for me, I had told myself when I had put out that album that I was like kind of my promise to start therapy. After I put it out, and I wanted to, when I was in interviews and talking to people about it, I was hoping that we would have the conversation, because I think there's like this generational mindset towards therapy that come from generations before us. And I was like, you're crazy if you go, or you don't need that, or I don't need a streak, or this and that. And I think it's a good thing for everybody to do, no matter where you are in your life, good or bad place in your life. I think it's a great thing. And as someone who's been in it now, it's been like super amazing for me. And I'm even in couples therapy with my girl as we have our baby on the way, and we're always trying to make sure that we're communicating the best and bringing this baby in the best potential household that we possibly can, in a healthy relationship. And so that's been like, I think even as we wrote this, I wrote the second album,
Yes.
I Tried Everything But Therapy Part 2. I think through that 2-year period almost, that there's you could tell that I've fallen back in love, and I've tried therapy, and I've done some healing, and there's some success and love, and I was hoping that when people hear the second album, that they think, it does get better, and on the other side of all that heartbreak, there is therapy and success and love and family and all this hope that comes with getting through that bad shit you were in, you know, and I hope the listener feels that.
But you know, it's great that you decided to put out that message. You know, I've said this before when I had the opportunity of having an interview. Like, I'm not a native English speaker, so we gotta really pay attention to the lyrics if you want to understand something. But we do connect with the message. So you know, I think it's great. I think it's brave, and I think it's like a big part of the times we're living to just say that. You know, and I know the title. I've tried everything but therapy. Now you have the second part, of course. It was just brave to embrace that. You know, like we need to.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
It's great. I love on the second record. I love the song called "Funeral."
Oh yeah, good one, man. Mickey Echo, brother. That guy is the coolest guy in the world, dude. He's done so much with me, for me. He's such a dear friend and mentor and big brother to me, and I love Mickey Echo, man. I can't tell you enough where I'd be. I don't know where I'd be without him.
Cool. I was also, you know, I'm old school. I buy vinyl. I buy records. I love to have my records,
me too,
right?
Man, me too.
But this day and age, bands hardly put out their record. We just have singles after singles. But you decided to put out just not one record, but two, like a concept kind of thing. But you started doing that digital thing with your covers on YouTube. So why did you decide to? This has to be an album, not just a series of singles, since you were already digital.
I think the album's so important, man, especially when you want to state something and you want to, I feel like there's a perspective and an artist narrative, or like a life narrative that I have and I want to share with people. And I think I love the good song, you know, I love a good song, but I think when you can really grab somebody's attention and keep it and you're actually saying something, I think in the single driven world, I don't think there's enough people. There's room for everybody to be successful and have their own audience, which is a beautiful thing, and people search for authenticity, and I think it's such a wonderful thing, but I think there are so many people with a platform to say something who frankly aren't saying shit, and it's doing more harm than good. And I wanted to make sure, and I always will make sure, that if I'm saying something and if I'm opening my mouth, it's something that I mean to say, and it's not just making this world a worse place than I came into it as. You know what I mean? I want to leave it better than I found it, and so I think the more time and the more attention I can walk you through a story, and you know, hopefully it does some sort of blessing for you in some way.
I mean, that's so nice, honestly. And I'm a big Soul fan. You know, I love Al Green. Like
that's how those guys did it. You know what I mean?
Yes, so, you know, you really connect with that. Even though, once again, it's not even my music. Here in Latin America, we don't listen to soul that much. We don't produce that kind of music. But it's just incredible, just listening to a song like Let's Stay Together. You know, it's such an anthem. It's like, wow. I really hope I get to see him someday in the church, right?
Oh, man,
the
me
Tabernacle.
Too, man. Yeah, I hope so. I never got to see Al Green before. He's my hero, man. I'd love to see him one of these days.
What are you listening?
Currently,
besides Benson.
Yeah, man, I love me some Benson Boone, man. That's the sweetest guy in the world, too. Dude, I've actually been really getting into, like, I mean, you know, now that I've been working with, like, Tiago PZK, I love him. I've been listening to so much of his music. I've been listening to, like, I've been trying to really, as I've been out here, too, in, like, South America and around, like, predominantly Spanish-speaking places, I've been kind of, like, these last couple weeks really kind of just diving in, and I've been listening to, like, you know, like, Peso Pluma and Carillon, and just all this Latin music has been, like, really inspiring me lately. And as I'm, like, traveling through South America, I just feel like it's like been a perfect soundtrack for it, you know. I've been loving this listening to like Spanish music lately.
We are a huge melting pot of lots of things. I mean, you're gonna find an enormous amount of music coming from Latin America with very different, you know, Colombia and Argentina. They're already very different.
Very different. Yeah, I'm seeing that already.
I wanted to ask you, since you recorded so many covers before, when you pick those songs, was there any song that you said, like, I wish I could have written that song? Like one in particular, you say, this one.
I Can't Make You Love Me is the best song ever, I think, you know, and I wish, I want to have that, like, I wish I had written that song, you know. I mean, there's so many like that too, dude. Like I probably every song I have covered is comes from that place of, damn, why did I have that? You know, why didn't I write that? And I connected to it on a deep level, and it's affected my life in some way, shape, or form. Like, I mean, you know, the entirety of the album of Songs in the Key of Life, like that, you know, Stevie Wonder is just monstrous.
It's
man.
One of the greatest records ever.
It is, man. It's so incredible.
Cool. hearing you talk and tell me all this, everything about you and your music, makes me of course think of what I see, and I wanted to ask you about this the tattoo you have here. It's like an hourglass.
Well, when my dear friend Lee Rouse, he was my first producer of like some of my first bands ever, and when we first started doing doing all the covers and stuff and doing my first bit of music, we were living together and he was recording everything, and his studio was called the Hourglass Room, and so I got it to just be like, you're my best buddy, man, and I love you and I'll always love you. And so it was one of the first things I got on my face to be like, well, I'll always have your back,
Okay, when did you start getting the tattoos?
I got my first tattoo when I was 16. It was on my arm actually, and I got it covered up since. It used to be a cross. It had my last name in it in one banner, and it said established 1992 in another banner. And it's such a 16-year-old tattoo to get,
Yeah.
By the time I was 18, I was like, why the fuck did I do that? So, not that I'm the guy to take tattoo advice from, but maybe 16-year-olds shouldn't make lifelong decisions,
Okay.
But now I get whatever the fuck, so,
Okay, after I tried everything but therapy, what are you thinking?
I mean, coming next, or just.
Well, no, I'm meaning life. Like you're traveling around the world. You're coming to South America for the first time, which is very interesting because, as I mentioned, like we are not connected as much to R&B and soul,
Yeah.
And still, I saw Alicia Keys, I think last year perform here. It was a beautiful show and people loved it, but it's a challenge. You have to connect with your voice to lots of people who are not used to it. So I would like to know that,
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to how many people come to see me at this show. I think as we've walked around a little bit today, I've had a lot more people want to take pictures and approach me than I had even expected. So this is such a new experience and culture for me to be a part of, and all I know is that the people that listen to is based off of graphs that he might show me and say, this song does well out here or something, So I'm walking into this with no real expectations, but just just trying to put it all out on the stage, and whoever's there, whether it's 100 people or 100,000 people or whatever have you, I'm gonna give it all I fucking can, and hope that we touch somebody today. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, we're gonna have a good time, man.
That's
and
great.
Hope that rain is not gonna fuck with me today.
No, I think it already rained whatever was supposed to rain here. And what about musically now? Are you thinking of writing or?
Yeah, well, I'm starting next month to get into writing again and doing a lot more writing, and I mean I'm kind of wide open and to the world of what that could be, and I think as I'm getting prepared to have my first son and experiencing fatherhood and buying a home and I guess becoming like a real full-fledged adult now, I think that's gonna inspire me in a lot of ways that I've never been inspired before, and it's gonna change the way I think and move in a writing sense. So as of now, who knows what that's gonna be, but I think it's going to be honest and vulnerable and authentic anyway.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful. Thank you very much for the time here for Radioacktiva TV. It's great. We're going to be there looking your show, of course, and take the best of the country, and I hope you have the time to enjoy all of the things.
Yeah, I sure will, man. I'll make it. I promise you that. We'll make that time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.